How do people, students studying in dormitories, what's their procedure when it comes to lighting Shabbat candles? We understood, we've explained many times, the whole purpose of the Shabbat candles is to have Shalom Bayit, to make sure there's light in the house over Shabbat, so there is peace and camaraderie in the room. That applies even to students who are living in dormitories. Now, what do? So even though the school, the yeshiva, wherever they are, lights for them in the dining room, let's say, and has them in mind, they still have an obligation to make sure there's light in their rooms as well. So therefore, the Halakha explains that there's an obligation on a student studying in a dormitory to make a beracha and light a Shabbat candle before Shabbat as Nerot Shabbat in honor of the Shabbat candle, so that he can have light in his room over Shabbat if he need be. Now, that's very, very important to make clear that this only applies to the students, one student per room. But if let's say there's 4 students who are sharing in the same room in the dormitory, then the halakha explains they should take turns, one per week. Every week, another one lights, and he makes the bracha and has in mind those other roommates that he has in his specific room. We explained earlier, you can't have multiple people lighting in the same room, but if he lights on behalf of everyone and they take turns, that's the best case scenario for these students who are single, not married, studying in a yeshiva or some type of dormitory. They are obligated to light with the beracha as well. Now, next halakha is very, very applicable as well. What about people who are residing in a hotel for Shabbat? How do they proceed? So we've seen, I know everyone has probably seen, that for some reason the hotel management likes to arrange the candle lighting in the lobby or in the dining room for that Shabbat. How does that work? Is that applicable or okay for us Sfaradim? The halacha for us Sfaradim, the Rav Ovadia writes he writes severely against that minhag, that all women light in the lobby. He says it's considered a bracha batala, and only the first woman in theory who lights in the dining room is the only one that can make a beracha. Why? Because we don't make a beracha on additional light, on tosefet or the Sfaradim do not make a beracha on it. So therefore, how do we proceed if you're in a hotel? Halakha explains that each family should light in their hotel room. That's where they're going to sleep the night. That's where they should have light. That's where the oneg applies as well. Light with the beracha in their hotel room. Now, what about the common fear of, God forbid, a fire? And I don't think any hotel allows lighting a fire in the individual rooms. So that's not a problem. Assuming that's the policy, don't light with the fire. Don't break the policy. Don't threaten your life and everyone else's life, God forbid. Instead, Rav Ovadia and Rav Ben Chaim both explain that make a bracha on the electricity, then turn on the light, and that's as if you lit the candles. Why? Again, the whole idea is Shalom Bayit. How much shalom do you have with a candle versus the electricity we have? Baruch Hashem, we have the electricity. In that scenario where they don't let you light the candle, even applies also to a hospital maybe, don't go against the law, don't go against their policy and God forbid, make a chilul Hashem. Instead, make a bracha, light the electricity, and you fulfill your obligation completely of the mitzvah of Hadlakat and Shabbat. B'ezras Hashem, we continue to fulfill this mitzvah to the best ability. Have a wonderful day.